Hey guys, lovely to see you all again. Today we're going to be looking at the second solo from Empyreal by Sylosis. Let's take a look. Alright guys, let's have a look at the first section. I'm going to start off from 12 of the first string. And I'm going to do a hammer on into a pull off, going 11, 12, 11. So we've got, you can add a cheeky slide intro if you want. And then I've got, what I'm doing here is playing 13 of the second string, jumping to 11 of the first. And then playing 13, 12 on the second string. So nice and Phrygian dominant-y. This is what we should have thus far. At the end of that, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 10, 12 on the second string and then bending 12 a semitone. And then bring it down, just for a regular vibrato. Let's have a look at what we've got thus far at a gentleman's pace, and then we'll work on the second half of this section. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I work into this delightful sort of harmonic minor-y run. I'm going to start off from 10 of the fourth string. I'm going to do a 3-note per string pattern. I'm going to play 10, 13, 14. Then from the third string, I'm going to play 11, 12, 14. Then from the second string, I'm going to play 12, 13, 16. Let's do those three groups of three, nice and slow. Okay, then from that point, I'm going to legato the bottom because I've got the cheeky taps here. So I'm going to hammer on 12, 14 to 15. And then from that point, I'm going to tap 17. And then reverse that sort of hammered on sequence. So I'm going to do the tap from 17, pull off 15, 14, 12. So from the first string, we should have this rolling legato into the tap and then roll backwards. The next thing I do is I want to tap 19 and then do the roll from 15 again. So we're going to go... Then I do the same thing from 20. At the end of that, I just end with a tap on 17 of the first string. And that's all of the first section. So let's go from the rolling legato with the taps, and then we'll go right back to the start of the section. All right, let's go right back to the start of the section, and then we'll do it again even slower with some taps. One more time with some taps. All right, let's have a look at the second section. I'm going to start off with a couple of 3-string major arpeggios. I'm going to begin with a pull-off from 14 to 11 on the first. Then I want to play 12 of the second and 11 of the third. We're going to do exactly the same thing, a fret up from 15, 12, and then 13, 12. And I do both of those arpeggios twice. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I'm going to start with a diminished arpeggio from 17. It's kind of got a bit of a Symphony of Destruction vibe. Anyway, I'm going to start from 17 of the first string. I'm going to pull off 17, 14 of the first, play 16 of the second. And then it's going to go 17, 14, 17 as a pull-off into a hammer on the third. This is what we should have of the diminished arpeggio. Then I work my way back up. I'm going to play 16 of the second string and then play 14, 17 on the first string and slide up to 20. So this is what we should have thus far of the diminished situation. At the end of that, I'm going to pull off from 20 to 17 on the first string, play 19 of the second, and then 17 of the third. All right, let's try the whole diminished arpeggio, and then we'll put the majors in front of it, and then work on the second half of the section. All right, let's go right from the start of the section, and then we'll work on the second half. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense. Then I've got kind of like a grace note backwards slide into 11 of the first string rather, and I want to play 11, 12, and then I've got a very quick 12 which hammers to 14. So it's barely there, almost a grace note. And at the end of that, I'm going to play 12 of the second string. So remember, we got that reverse slide entry. At the end of that, I've got natural harmonics from the third string from 5th fret. Then I'm playing 7 of the second, and then 7 of the first. It's kind of nice to let them ring together and be kind of gross. You'll notice Josh does that in quite a few Sylosis solos. Not necessarily harmonics, but that sort of, that kind of notes all ringing together. That's one of his trademarks, and it is completely delicious. I approve. Anyway, that's the whole second section. Let's try that at a gentleman's pace, and then again, even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so we've just come out of the harmonics in section 2. Section 3 is going to start off with this, a pre-bend from 10 of the second string. Then what I have here is a unison bend. I'm playing 10 of the first and 13 of the second string together. I'm bending the 13 up a full tone and adding some pretty angry vibrato to that. Okay, after that, I work into this pretty crazy string skipped arpeggio. It might even be sort of half diminished. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start 10 to 14 on the 5th string as a hammer on. And then I'm going to hammer from 11 to 12 on the 3rd string. So that's the string skip. At this point, it's sounding kind of major 7th-y, but then you get that kind of weird augmented sound from the first string. So what I'm going to do here is hammer 11 to 14 on the first string. This is what we should have thus far of the string skipped arpeggio. Okay, then from that point, I'm going to tap 15 and then pull off that 14 to 11. So once again, let's have a look what we've got thus far of the string skipped arpeggio. At the end of that, I'm going to do a pull off into a hammer on, going 12, 11, 12 on the 3rd string, so I can work my way up to the high part again, sort of go. At the end of that, I'm going to do 11, 14 again on the 1st string, but this time I'm going to tap 19. Hopefully that's all making sense. Then I want to jump back up to the 3rd string. I'm going to go 12, 11, 12, 11. So I'm going to do that idea twice. There's 4 notes across that, all in one pick. Now the last bit is quite strange. I've got to pull off from 14 to 10 and then I slide back to 14. So I'm going to go from the pinky to the pointer and then the pointer is going to slide back to where the pinky was. It's pretty weird, but it's kind of cool because then we're working at this. After I've slid into 14, I'm going to do a hammer on to 15 and then pull off to the 14. So it'll go. And then we're going to finish that section playing 15, 14 on the 6th string. So here's what I want to do. I want to go through the arpeggio at a gentleman's pace and then we'll go right back to the start of the section and put it all together. Alright, let's go back to the start of the section with that pre-bend into the angry unison bend and the arpeggio. One more time with some tabs. Alright guys, so section 3 was pretty terrifying. Section 4, not so much. We're going to start off with a cheeky reverse slide into 7 of the 3rd string, and then I'm going to play 5, 7 after that. After that, I work into this phrase. So it's almost sort of a straight 3-string G major arpeggio. I'm going to slide into 10 of the 1st string, and then play 8, 7. And then to finish off the arpeggio, I play 8 of the 2nd string and 7 of the 3rd. So all together. Hopefully that's making sense. Then I work into this. So I've got some little double stoppy major and minor third chords here. I'm playing 10 of the second string and 11 of the third, and I want to play that 3 times. And then I go to 12 and 12 of the second and the third string. After that, I've got 2 dead notes, so it'll go... Hopefully that's making sense. After I've done those sort of 2 dead notes, I'm going to go back to that little minor shape I had here and play 10 and 11 again, which is going to give me 3 more of those. And at the end of that, I'm going to hit 13 of the second string twice for a nice delicious bend. The second one's a little bit larger and longer, so you can give it some more expression if you want. So all together that last bit. It's weird kind of having a moment of frusciante in the middle of an angry metal solo. But anyway, that's the kind of vibe. So you notice that my right hand is basically constant. I'm just changing the rhythm and where I'm putting the dead notes. Okay, that's all of the last section, section 4. Let's do that again at a gentleman's pace and then even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. And that was the second solo from Empyreal by Sylosis. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please click the links in the description box to my new Udemy course on modes. I also have a link to my Facebook fan page and my Patreon. I'll catch you guys all very soon.